Throughout the history of cinema, very few individuals could be heralded as a world builder, possessing the raw imaginative power needed to create entire original worlds. No other figure commanded as much reverence in contemporary animation and world cinema as the legendary Hayao Miyazaki, Grand Master of Japanese anime. His track record is a phenomenon in the animation industry. All 11 of his feature-length films are hits, and 5 of which are universally acclaimed masterpieces. He has never made one bad film. While Miyazaki's animations have become some of Japan's most significant cultural exports around the turn of the 21st century, his earlier works are all set in European and Slavic worlds. He abstained from telling Japanese stories, largely due to the disappointment and shame of his nation's role in World War II. It wasn't until the middle of his career that an interest in Japanese mythology and folklore emerged. In Japanese culture, forests are regarded as objects of divinity, the source of primitive religious feelings. Its roots can be traced back to the animistic belief that objects, places, and creatures possess a distinct spiritual essence. Enlightened by a botanist's theory about the similarities between Japanese forests and those in other parts of Asia, Miyazaki began approaching the issue of Japanese cultural identity in his films from the perspective of the natural environment. In 1988, for the first time in his career, he released a film that is set in Japan, featuring a giant, cuddly forest kami. Animations in the West have generally been thought of as cartoons for children. However, the bloom of Japanese animation by the late 1900s has proven that it can be a medium of entertainment for mature audiences too. While animes are typically known for dabbling with teenage rebellion, excessive violence, and overt sexuality, Miyazaki's repertoire of films is a far cry from the mainstream anime culture. His films are fundamentally made to entertain children, but he doesn't underestimate their intelligence, nor their powers of understanding. Like the greatest art, his stories seem simple, but they hide complex humanistic and sociological subjects. As a result, they don't appeal just to children, but to the broader audience and film critics as well. Just as a child might experience a sense of wonderment and magic in My Neighbor Totoro, an adult might reflect on their own loss of innocence and learn to heal their inner child. Miyazaki's treatment of characters as complex individuals instead of the definitive heroes and villains is what sets him apart from many Western and even Japanese animators. His later works often deviate from portraying the notion of good triumphing over evil, even when a character is trapped in an unwelcoming and dangerous spirit world. Any other animation director might have crafted a tale of revenge or pit Chihiro directly against Yubaba, but Miyazaki develops a protagonist who embraces the sources of her suffering like a Zen Buddhist, not with the determination to destroy them, but with acceptance and maturity. There is no good or evil, only flawed characters. Never have we had an animator who played such a vital role throughout the conceptualization, storyboarding, and directing of each of his films, and because of that, his works are amongst the most imaginative, influential, and personal pieces of cinema to grace the silver screen. His legacy will continue to serve as a beacon of inspiration, not just to animators, but to filmmakers all around the world in decades to come.
ありがとう。